My name is Carroll George. My maximum rank was ensign in the Coast Guard, and found my way to the USS Taney, which was a queen ship of the Coast Guard at that time, 327-foot cutter. And I did convoy duty to North Africa and heard a few depth charges, but we did not bring anybody up. And then we were made into an AGC, which in preparation for the Battle of Okinawa. And I was at the Battle of Okinawa on April, 2 days before April the 1st, the opening of the battle. I got a letter from my wife that said our firstborn would be by surgical operation instead of natural birth. The day before I got the letter, I did not get another letter about that operation for 3 solid weeks of the Battle of Okinawa. But fortunately, I was in the safest possible place you could possibly be at Okinawa, aboard that AGC with the Navy Admiral aboard and his staff of communicators that kept us well informed as to how everything was going all over the place. Well, I guess the most dramatic one was on May the 5th, 1945, when the Allies were about to accept the surrender of the Germans. The Japanese decided they wanted to do an all-out at Okinawa. And they sent in 131 kamikazes in one 24-hour period, in which they sunk 17 of the total ships sunk by kamikazes. There were 34 total in the war, and they did 17 on that day and damaged many others. In fact, they damaged 298 altogether before the atom bomb stopped their operation. And outside of that, being an engineering officer, I was on duty one day when we had all night at general quarters, and we went up to a tanker to get fuel, and there I found out that they were filling us too fast. They were giving us too much pressure, and I told them to turn the pressure down and cut it in half from 120 to 60, and then again to 30. And then before I could get them to stop it, there was a fountain of that oil down in the crew's quarters. So, being the engineering officer aboard at the time, I had to go over on the tanker and find out what was the matter. And I found out that there was 2 things that were the matter with both our ship and theirs. But their ship had, I asked the fellow, I said, what did you do when I said reduce it from 120 to 60? He said, we turned this big valve halfway off. It was a big gate valve. 12-inch gate valve on a 6-inch line. Half off, it had no effect whatsoever on the pressure. Then up, down to 60 into 30, nothing. So that was obviously the problem. The gate valve was on the wrong side of the valve. It was always measuring the pressure in the tank, not the pressure on the line. So I reported back. I was glad to be able to report it back because that got the engineering crew and the Coast Guard, who had foiled up the Navy enlisted quarters with that old black oil. So the admiral told the guy over in the tanker what had happened and better get his valve on the right side of the valve. I mean, get his gauge on the right side of the valve. But outside of that, put down a lot of smoke screens whenever there was a... But I did see one kamikaze hit a ship and the flames dart up way about 3 times as high as the ship. It didn't sink, but and they got a lot of people off of it. And unfortunately, my ship participated with others in bringing down one American airplane that didn't have his identification going. But those things do happen. It's unfortunate, but that's what happened.